Listen very carefully, because this is not motivation. This is a spiritual warning, a direct, uncompromising look at the reality of human suffering. If you continue living life unconsciously, reacting to every emotion, chasing every fleeting desire, and seeking validation from a temporary world, your suffering will never end. This isn't a theory. This is a universal law, proven across millennia. The Buddha made this painfully, undeniably clear when he stated that ignorance is the true enemy of humanity. Not poverty, not disease, not politics, but ignorance, the simple inability to see reality as it truly is. When you look closely at life, the four most brutal, unavoidable rules begin to surface, and the faster you accept them, the faster your liberation begins. The first and most brutal rule of life is this: the world is not responsible for your peace. Think about that deeply. The world is not responsible. Your parents are not responsible. Society is not responsible. Your past is not responsible. Only your mind is. Peace is not something you find outside. It is something you stop destroying inside. We spend our entire lives blaming external factors. If only I had more money, I'd be happy. If only that person loved me differently, I'd be whole. If only my childhood was better, I'd be stable. This is the great lie of the ego. It constantly outsources responsibility for your inner state. But the moment you stop blaming the outside and start disciplining the inside, your spiritual journey begins. If you are angry, it is not because of the traffic. It is because you allowed the traffic to dictate your internal state. If you are anxious, it is not because of the future. It is because you allowed hypothetical scenarios to steal your present moment. You must stop waiting for the external environment to become perfect for you, to feel okay. That day will never come. The world is inherently chaotic, unpredictable, and often unfair. Your job is not to fix the world, but to fix your perception of it. Take ownership of your internal landscape, because that is the only kingdom you truly rule. This single shift in perspective, moving from victimhood to authorship, is the foundation of all meaningful spiritual practice. The second rule is this harsh truth that most people refuse to accept. Desire is endless. If you build your happiness on desire, you're building it on fire. Why? Because the mind that constantly wants more will never feel whole, no matter how much it achieves, how much it earns, or how much recognition it receives. We live in a culture that treats wanting as a virtue. We're told to manifest, to hustle, to accumulate. But every time you satisfy a desire, you don't eliminate craving. You simply reinforce the pattern of needing an external stimulus to feel complete. It's like drinking salt water to quench your thirst. It only intensifies the problem. The Buddha did not say wanting is evil. He said being controlled by wanting is slavery. There is a massive difference. Wanting to learn, wanting to grow, wanting to help others, these are generative, healthy desires. But the craving for things to be different than they are right now, the desperate need for comfort or validation, that is the chains that bind you. The moment you achieve your goal, the mind instantly shifts the goalpost. That promotion you fought for? Within 6 months, it's just your job, and now you're aiming for the next one. That beautiful car? Soon it's just transportation. The new relationship? Eventually it's just 2 people. Recognize the mechanism. The satisfaction lies in the chase, not in the capture. And if your peace is always waiting on the next capture, you are signing up for perpetual dissatisfaction. True liberation isn't about eliminating desires. It's about seeing them clearly and choosing not to let them drive your life. It is the peace of enough. The third rule is non-attachment. Understand this deeply, because attachment is the silent killer of peace. We are taught that attachment is love, that it is security, that it is loyalty. But psychologically, attachment is simply fear wearing a mask. It is gripping the transient world tightly, terrified of the inevitable loss. Attachment to people makes you afraid of loss, turning love into anxiety and possession. When you attach your happiness to another human being, their mood, their presence, or their approval, you have made yourself a slave to their behavior. Attachment to success makes you anxious because success is always temporary. The moment you achieve it, the fear of losing it begins. Your identity becomes fragile, resting on external achievements that can crumble at any moment. Attachment to identity makes you defensive. If you are deeply attached to the idea of who you are, a success story, a victim, a rebel, a genius, you will automatically reject any information or experience that threatens that self-image. You become rigid and incapable of growth. And perhaps the most common form of suffering today, attachment to opinions makes you angry. We are so tightly bound to our viewpoints, our political tribes, and our personal narratives that disagreement feels like a personal attack. This is why social media is a perpetual engine of rage. It feeds the ego's addiction to being right. The Buddha taught that freedom begins the day you stop gripping life with fear and start holding it with awareness. Non-attachment is not apathy. It is the deepest form of love because it allows you to appreciate something fully without needing to own or control it. It means loving people for who they are, not for how they complete you. It means appreciating a moment fully, knowing it will pass. The fourth rule is impermanence. This is the truth your ego hates the most, yet it is the greatest source of clarity and potential peace. Everything you are proud of will fade. Everything you fear losing will leave. Even this physical body you worship and rely on will one day return to dust. Anicca, as the Pali language calls it, change. Everything changes. The very nature of reality is flux. Your relationships change, your career changes, your body changes, your opinions change, the weather changes. When you resist impermanence, when you desperately try to freeze a moment or hold on to a comfortable state, you create friction, and that friction is suffering. The moment you look at a relationship and say, "I need this to last forever," you are setting yourself up for pain. The moment you look at a period of success and say, "This is who I am now," you are ignoring the ticking clock of change. This is not meant to scare you. It is meant to wake you up. Recognizing impermanence is the ultimate motivation to live fully right now. If everything is temporary, why waste a single second being petty, holding grudges, or pursuing things that do not truly nourish your soul? Impermanence teaches you that every single experience is precious precisely because it is fleeting. It teaches you gratitude for what is here and prepares you for the inevitable letting go. It is the practice of holding life loosely, like a bird in your hand, firm enough so it doesn't fly away, but gentle enough so you don't crush it. So, let us recap the spiritual warning. First, your peace is internal. Stop looking outside for a fix. Second, desire is a fire. Recognize your cravings and choose freedom over slavery. Third, attachment is fear. Practice awareness and non-gripping. Fourth, impermanence is reality. Accept change and appreciate the present moment. These four truths are the map out of suffering. You have been given the warning. Now the choice is yours. Continue living in the comfortable, familiar sleep of ignorance, or face reality, wake up, and start the difficult but infinitely rewarding work of liberating your own mind. If this message resonated with you,
If it sparked a flicker of recognition, share it with someone who might also be ready for the spiritual alarm clock. Hit the subscribe button so we can continue exploring these vital truths together. Thank you for listening.